Good morning, I'm Sally Barker. Welcome to Local Business Focus. Joining me this morning is Peter Trenaman from Groupsupport, proud station sponsor. Good morning, Peter.
Morning, Sally. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent.
Now, today we are talking about using reports to make management easier. And this sort of carries on from our discussion last week about finding a good software system so you're not entering lots of different pieces of data.
Absolutely. Let's just recap a little bit on that. A single point of entry means that you're entering the same or one piece of information once and using it multiple times, making sure that you're able to be efficient with the use of information and be accurate. It aids the business, it encourages your staff to maintain accuracy, and essentially increases the effectiveness of all the processes. It also enables better reporting. Now, that's the key to any business, and the key to managing a business is by the reports. The classic report, of course, is profit and loss, the balance sheet. Those sort of things, they tell you how much money you've made. And that's why we're all in business, otherwise we'd be surfing or something else.
Trying on new jeans.
Cooking shows. Sorry. So reporting is so important that there are whole programs written. Those things are called business intelligence as a group of products. There's a product called Crystal Reports, which sits behind a lot of accounting and information systems to provide it reports in different methods, different ways, different utilities, and at different times for different people, so they get the information they want so that they can act. Now, that action is the thing that actually makes the business. So are you buying more stock because you've run out? Now, do you need to go and walk up the shelf and see you haven't got any more widgets? Or can you get a report that tells you that in 2 days' time you're selling enough that you'll be out? The difference being that one, you're out and you'll need to go and get some more and it'll take time, so you may miss out on sales because you don't have the stock. The other thing is you're prepared, okay? So you can buy things. When you're prepared, you can then buy in bulk. You can buy discounts, you can negotiate your buying power, so then you can get better deals from your suppliers. Now, whether that be freight free or a discount, whether that be a distribution where they'll distribute the product for you, they're all things you can do once you've got some information to work with. Because if you go to a supplier and say, I'm going to sell some stuff and I want you to deliver it for me, and they'll go, where are we delivering it? I don't know yet. How many are we delivering? Don't know that either. It's going to take a little bit of time to actually get over the line. Whereas if you go and say to them, well, we've got 100 clients in Queensland, we've got 100 clients in Victoria, and we've got 300 clients in WA, on average, 10% of them buy this product once a quarter. It weighs 2.5 kilos and it needs to go out within 24 hours. Can you do that? They go, there we go. So, 25% sale of 500, it's 125, a quarter. So what's that? That's 30 a month, one a day. Yeah, we can do that.
Yep.
The client then has something to go on. The supplier's got a more predictable sales line and everybody's happier. And the same way when you're talking about customers. Has customer A bought more over the preceding 3 months than they have this month? Are their sales dropping? Are their sales increasing? If they're increasing, go and give them a bottle of wine, or a donut, take them out for a coffee, go and say hello, And if they're buying less, do you need to go and say hello? Do you need to buy them a coffee, a bottle of wine? Do you know what I'm saying? So how are you acting upon those reports? And you can't have that sort of action and the management of your staff unless you've got some information to work with. And you get the information by having, ideally, a single point of contact, a single reference point, which is where all your data is. Now, I've got to say, and every time I say it, any information I give to you, any advice that I give out is general, okay? It's not designed for you specifically, although the concepts are. You should be having your conversation with your trusted IT professional. We spoke about that many weeks ago. You should be having a conversation with him about what's best for you. In fact, most of the time he should be suggesting things. If he's not, then perhaps it's time to look for a new one. But that's not my point. The point is that you need to take the concept and the illustration and to seek your own advice. It's your business, make it work for you. So we're making the data work for you and getting the reports out. Are they coming out on your phone? Are they coming out once a night? Is there an automatic shortage report coming out so that the first person in, the warehouse manager, picks up a shortage report and starts ordering stuff? What happens? And that's what all that sort of thing is all about. Business intelligence is around mining your data. And these keywords, mining and business intelligence and all that, are all about the big businesses of the world knowing what to do with this stuff. They've invented words and phrases and tools to do it. And they're applicable for small businesses, even a one-man band. They're still applicable because then you know where to target your efforts of marketing, sales, purchasing, stock holding, whatever you're doing.
So without these systems in place, you're just out there swimming in the middle of the ocean with no float, really.
That's a bit unfair to the businesses that work with highly intuitive people, very intelligent people, driven people who are accurate, have attention to detail. But when they drop the ball or don't focus on one thing, that falls. So is there something to catch? Is there something to help them? They're human, you know? We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all forget things. We all, well, yeah, my wife, yeah. No, we won't talk about what my wife says I forget, but the whole idea is that we need to have a system in place because businesses are all about systems. So it doesn't matter how good your attention to detail is. If you've got a system in place, it means that the business is a healthier business because it's not dependent upon a human being there. A business is about a process. It's about making money and it's about giving an income to the owner. The reports and management help everybody, you know, keep people in jobs. They keep product on the shelf. They keep the sales going, all that stuff.
So it sort of trickles down. We're talking about how these reports can make management easier, but
Yep.
then that sort of trickles all the way down, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, one of the best examples I have is one of my staff. The first job that they do every morning is check for failures in backups. Okay, now that's a report that issues. Now we have nearly 300 backup processes that happen overnight, every night. They'll get a report of 3 or 4. Okay. So they make a phone call, they find out what's going on, and they send me the results. So by the time I get in, I've got an email with some itemised things. They've done their work, they've ticked the box of the KPIs. I'm happy, you know, and that's all about a report. So what reports do you need? You know, how does your business work? Can you, are you frustrated or does something take a lot of time? I'm trying to think of a good example where one of my clients, let's call him Frank, because all of my clients are Frank. Every month it took him about a day to compile the sales versus purchases as a gross, okay? Because they were in 2 different systems. He'd buy using one system and sell using another. And all his banking was in with his selling, and all his purchasing was in with his supplier and stock. So every day, every month, he'd dump these reports out, match them up in Excel. Okay, we put a system in. It's one system. Presses one button. Takes him 15 minutes. He does it once a week now, and he's got the information at hand. So he knows when his gross profit's going up or down at a moment's notice, and he can tell.
So then he can spend more time doing what he's there meant to be doing.
And what do bosses spend more time doing? Selling, managing staff, doing the things that running the business. You know, you don't need a boss sitting behind an Excel spreadsheet. They need to be out there in front of clients, in front of staff, doing the things that bosses do, you know. And the same with managers. Managers need to be managing staff, not running a program and waiting for Excel to load or you know. That's
Yeah, all those kinds of things. So it shouldn't be taking you an entire day each week for these processes to be done.
Well, that's my opinion, and like everything else, my opinion may not work for everybody else. But the point is to have the conversation. What's realistic? It's not realistic in some situations, and if I've got a 2 terabyte database, it may be realistic to take a day to run a report. But most people don't have a 2 terabyte database. Most people have a database which should take 10 or 15 minutes to get the reports they need once a week. So we use predominantly an Australian piece of software. It's been around for 40 years. It's a reliable piece of software that's grown up with a lot of Australians. It does a lot of things. It's an integrated database, and there's 57 developers around the world who put add-ons and supporting third-party applications. So we can do multiple sources of information into one database, and then reporting out in multiple ways to mobile phones, screens, emails, whatever you like. It's a pretty comprehensive package.
So integrated software is what you're looking for?
Absolutely. Makes reporting easier, and reporting is management. And if reporting's easier, then management's easier. Management's more efficient. You can spot things going wrong. We don't truly place the importance in the general population. We don't place the importance upon reporting that some of the accountants and some of the line managers do, and that's a very small field. And the people who are very good at it depend on reporting absolutely. There is nothing else that they will believe. And what they'll do is they'll notice the trends from one day to another. They'll notice the trends from this week to last week, this month to last month, because they're looking at the bigger picture. They're looking at what we call metadata, which is the trends, not the actual data itself. We're looking at a trend. We're looking at a high volume of sales with a small margin over Christmas. And then during winter, we're looking for a low volume of sales with a high margin. And that's perfectly okay if that's the pattern, but you won't get that pattern. You won't get that metadata, that feel. And that's what management's all about, is looking at the reports and taking actions, but also measuring what's going on. Sorry, mental blank there for a moment. I don't have a report in front of me to read. There's many. One of the businesses that we deal with, and Frank owns it, and Frank runs reporting a fairly strict report. He runs 1 report a day. Okay, he used to run 15 or 20. Okay, he runs 1 report a day. It's got some key figures that he wants. It's a custom-made report. Took someone it's about $1,200 worth of report, 1 report, but it contains all the figures that he wants, and that's important for him. You can run all the standard reports you like. The accountants of the world will look at balance sheet. The managers of the world will look at profit and loss. The salesmen look at the gross profit figures. So without those reports, you've got nothing. You have to go and look at pieces of paper, look at numbers of phone calls, watch a data center, watch a warehouse, which is time consuming, prone to inaccuracy, whereas a single point of reference, a single data source, can give you electronic access to a website statistical report, your incoming calls delay. One of the big telephone organisations counts how long it takes for each call to be answered on a report. That's what it's all about, reporting.
Well, and I guess that brings us into our topic we'll be talking about next week, and that's making your business easier to sell. Absolutely. And with these reports, Absolutely. That's how we'll do it.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us this morning on Local Business Focus. Peter Trenaman from Groupsupport, proud station sponsor.
Thanks for having me.